How you doing? This is Comic Strategy Kings for Queens. As you know, we start the show letting you know who we are, but we have an amazing guest here, JC, who's been to our last couple of episodes, and she's had some great insight on some excellent questions that the writer wrote, whoever that may be. Anywho, so as you know, the leader of the new school, Dear JS, over there on my right, your left. Also bringing the heat the last couple of weeks. We're going to see how I do today. Today's show is called The Game Changers, part of our Women Are Superheroes series. This is the men's talk show that's for the benefit of women, Kings for Queens. Let's get started. All right. I'm going to do segment 1, you do segment 2, you do segment 3. Well, you always do segment 3. So anyways, I got to get a little loose on this one. So segment 1 is called Changed the Game, because women are the game changers. This is real talk. What is the value of women in business?
Okay, I would have to say the value in women in business is definitely increasing, inclining. I know we said a couple of weeks ago where I believe you said 5%.
5% of women are in leadership.
In business. Yeah. So it's definitely
5% are CEOs, I'm sorry.
CEOs of business. Okay.
The women leadership thing is 25%.
Okay. So it's definitely increasing.
It's definitely increasing.
So evidently there must be a great value in women, or they're finally getting, it's always been a great value, but it's finally getting recognized because that ladder is steady going up for women. It's increasing. So definitely a big increase, and it's going to continue on. It's been long overdue.
There you go. JS.
I have to concur on what you was just saying.
Concur?
Yes.
Is this because you just came back from the Bahamas?
Hey, had a lovely time, brother.
Nice little thing.
Ain't nothing like that Bahamian weather.
I mean, I concur.
Have me some umbrella drinks and just great food.
I would love to have some umbrella
great
drinks.
Food, you know what I mean? You should take a cruise whenever you get a chance. You know what I mean? You know,
cruises are nice.
Yeah, very nice. But
I know how to swim. Anyways, what is your answer to that question, sir?
The value of a woman in business is great because, like you were saying, everything is increasing, and women are very important within business, and they have a strong role in business. As CEOs, and whichever business it is, women always make a great stride in that. And from that, you can tell that I didn't have an answer for that, but.
His answer was he concurs.
I concur. Shit, I've been in the Bahamas. I didn't get the notes.
Well, what about you?
So, according to statistics, we've actually talked about this a couple times, but I just want to reiterate it. Business profit goes up about 67% for the actual investment side of any business. 67% is the current average. Over 50% of revenue generated comes from the ideas and the impact of women in business. Not even just leadership, just hiring more women causes that. Mm-hmm. So, do I gotta say anything else? If you have a business and it's all men,
you're doing something.
You're not making a whole lot of money.
You're cheating
And
yourself
if
out
you're
of profit.
in business, you probably should have some women if you want to make some money. All right, question number 2. That was my second Cardi B reference in 2 shows. Okay, are the keys to success the same for men and women? Very interesting question. Let's go with JS on that one.
No, they're not. Keys to success are different for men and women, as you know it would be. It is basically it's obvious. This is a different world. As you know, it's easier for men in business.
What do you mean by easier, sir?
Easier. Stuff is just more laid out for a man in business.
They have an easier road to get there.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So it's a little harder for women. So the success, the keys are just totally different.
I concur. I concur. I agree. The keys to success are not the same for men and women, and I feel like the layout, the blueprint for it it was a male-dominant world. At one point, women stayed at home, so it was meant, and they probably more so keep it that way. And men more so want the success, or their keys for success is probably based off power, where a woman is probably more so. They got to have power to become it, but theirs is more so off the respect, because I had to do a lot to get to you and for a lot longer to get to the male counterpart. So, yeah, I concur.
Yes. Basically, a woman, her keys to success have higher standards. She has to be able to show more and have done more in order to even be considered acceptable. Yeah, and even then, they're like, well, she's still a woman. So I know clowns that, they run around town. They call themselves successful, but the only thing they did successfully was they met somebody. And now they're running a business when really they're running it to the ground. But hey, who am I? I don't have the money to, hire them, and I wouldn't. But anyways, I'm talking about some guys that I know that don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know them. They're not my friends. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's go to the next question. Next, associates. I wouldn't even call them associates. People.
Just the first 3 letters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I can dig it.
Question number 3. The 3 most important keys to change your success if you're a woman. These are some tough questions today.
Yeah.
JC.
Let's see. 3 most important keys to change your success.
Yes.
Number 1 is never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. You find it, and I think another one is it has to be something you love doing. It has to feel more like a hobby or something of that nature versus a job. It has to be something you love. Then it doesn't feel so much like work. Third thing for success, a great team. There's no I in team, maybe a bunch of I's, but it's a team. You got to have a great team to help you be successful. I mean, we already multitask enough, so it's always great to have a team, because they may see something different than how you see it, and it may be the one missing thing you needed all this time. So that would be my 3 things for change your success.
JS.
Those were great. I would like to say, but my 3, I probably don't know if I'll need 3, but 1 would be a boob job. 2 would be a makeover. And I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. But they would help, y'all.
Hooters, maybe.
Hey, y'all know.
Twin Peaks.
Y'all know. If y'all know that would help though. But no.
Would that really help?
Yes, it would. You tell me, just off of the last week's show when you was talking, if you seen sister come in and be like, oh, what? How you doing, Kim? You looking good? I'm just joking, y'all. Don't write in the comments. You should about me.
Anybody got a dunce hat we can borrow?
I wear.
Put him in the corner.
I wear it for a minute. You know what I mean?
Clown.
I wear it for a minute.
Oh, goodness. Not only did he go that direction, he threw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Too, in the process. He was like, hey, I'm feeling the heat.
Join me under this bus. But yeah, everything that she said about it, once again, I concur.
See, listen to women.
Okay. So I would say the first thing, and I like your answers were fantastic. Your answers, I don't know.
You liked it.
I like boob jobs, but I don't know if that's a key to success.
Well, it depends on where you work at.
And I said makeover too.
If you're a stripper,
Yeah.
Hooters or Twin Peaks or a model.
Okay, so I guess that could be a key to success. I'm gonna get a little more general. Write your goals down. I would back you up, but you're at the bus.
Or if you're a man eater, you're chasing after men to supply you with everything from your bills, all that stuff.
Like a Megan Thee Stallion type?
Yeah, what he said.
It'll work for you.
Yeah. Self-love,
What's
y'all.
happening?
Self-love.
It'll work for you too.
Let's move to segment 2.
Yeah. I didn't get that. Well, maybe
Did
I
you
should
have
just move on. I didn't. I was starting to, but y'all interrupted me
Go right ahead.
with this boob job stuff.
You interrupted yourself talking about throwing up under the bus.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, join in. Feel free.
So, write your goals down. I know plenty of women who have some great ideas. I always say write them down. They never write them down. They have not made one iota of a step forward on those goals. Myself, unless I write it down, it doesn't seem to happen. So I write my goals down. I gotta find them, but I know my goals. I wrote them down, and I'm moving forward in that direction. So
next time, take a picture. That's long.
Yes.
Manifestation, in other words, is what he's saying. You write the goals down. That's the next step to actually making those things come to light. So.
The other thing, and this is what I read in research, be persistent. Find a way to make it happen. And if you don't, do it again and find a way to make it happen. Persistence is very important. What a lot of people do is they try a couple of times, like, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. It's like, no, it's not meant to be for you because you gave up. Don't ever give up, no matter how crazy it sounds. What that means, though, is you need to be smart enough to say, okay, I can't keep hitting myself on the wall and expect a different result. Find a different way to think outside the box and change the process. So, and then the third thing I would say is, like you mentioned, find a team. Find a team of people. Everybody always has this, I'm self-made. No, you're not. Even if you make your own clothes or whatever, someone has to buy it in order for you to actually make any money. So you're never self-made. Everybody says that they're self-made.
Heck, it took 2 people to even make you. Nobody's self-made around here.
Now, it may not have a lot of people, but do you really need a lot of people?
Small circle of a great team.
You just need some very solid individuals. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. I mean, just with 2, you can do 10 times more than with you by yourself, period. Which is kind of crazy. Okay, so segment 2, we'll let you handle that segment because you are the superhero for today.
I love playing devil's advocate, which is what segment 2 is about. Is devil's advocate if women were silent.
Ooh. You wanted that silent woman a couple of days. I want to run you over the bus now. You wanted that silent woman a couple of days ago.
Just shut up and bend over, basically.
Well, I don't necessarily mind that, but what I'm saying is she don't have to be quiet.
Okay. So question number 1 is, what would happen to us if women obey men's rules? I'll let you answer that first.
Y'all trying to set me up.
Y'all
are trying to set me up.
Just on the spot, listen, ladies.
Yo, because you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
Look, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't know what would happen if they obeyed men's rules, but I can tell you what will happen if you obey my rules. All right? If you would just listen, you know what I mean? If you just listen, stuff will go a lot easier. It'll go a lot easier. I will not steer you wrong. I will steer you strong. Just listen to what I'm saying, and everything will go correctly, you know? And I am not speaking to anyone out there specifically, or maybe I am.
Now we know why he's single, ladies.
I will not steer you wrong. Just listen sometimes. Sometimes you just listen.
Oh my goodness.
We know what we talk
what
about
has happened.
sometimes. But yeah, hey.
Can you admit that this is not one of those times though?
What, right now?
He said we know what we talking about some of the time. It's not one of those times.
But right now, most definitely, I know. Just listen to some of the rules. Some of them, not everything, not everything, but some of them. Core part.
Okay, what about you, Comix?
So, what would happen if women obeyed men's rules? Here's the thing: men's rules were made for men, white men. That's important. We have a person by the name of Rosa Parks. If she didn't do what she did, things would be very different in Alabama and nationwide and possibly worldwide. Mm-hmm. She didn't obey the rules. There's a woman, Amelia Earhart, who was not supposed to be flying planes, but she did it anyway. You have people, the first... What's he say?
The devil found her.
Anyways, why are we going that direction, man? Let's talk about the good things.
I'm just saying. She should have listened.
Wow. What just happened?
She should have listened.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't turn out too good.
Oh wow.
You get my point, anyways. You get my point. So my point is, there have been some women in biblical times and even today who did not obey, quote unquote, certain men because they realized what their rule was not a godly rule, and so they made a move, and we all benefited from it. Maybe except for her.
Yeah. I agree with you on the mother ones.
Wow. Okay, and my say to that is, if women obeyed men's rules, we wouldn't have come this far. We would still stuck back in the Stone Ages. We would still be around here just barefoot, pregnant, cooking, and basically just sex slaves. Just keep popping out babies and stuff. We would not have college degrees. We wouldn't have our own businesses. We wouldn't even know what life was like on the outside or on the other side of the door. We wouldn't be able to drive cars ourselves. None of that. We wouldn't be able to vote.
Yeah.
A lot of things. But then you guys wouldn't have been as successful either because a lot of things that men have credit for has actually been done by women. And it takes a woman. It took a woman to help for some things to come into fruition and happen. It took a woman for that. Heck, it took a woman for you to get here. So, yeah. Next question is, when is submission good for women? Comix.
It's good for women to be submissive to a great situation. What I mean by that is a man who's doing everything he's supposed to do, taking care of business, putting money on the table, treating you right, allowing you to be who you want to be, putting money in your pocket to make that happen. That's a good reason to be submissive. In a situation like that, cool. Any other time, now here's the thing about submission. Submission is not something that you do, it's something that you become because you have such great situation. It's not a situation where, like, hey, you gotta be submissive, woman. That, guys do that all the time. They don't even know what the hell they're doing and don't deserve anybody to submit to them. Eventually, you're going to submit to somebody, something, someone, some situation. Everybody does, including men. But it only works out well when that submissive situation comes up that helps you become more of you. That's it.
Submission is it's good.
I know it's good.
It is good. But I concur. what Comix was just talking about. He said some good stuff. Because if the situation is right and, you know, everything is taken care of in the house, then I think, you know, it's, you know, it works itself out. Where submission, you know, you have a submissive woman, you know, the woman is happy most of the time, you know what I mean? It causes, you know, that submission will come. You know, you have a good life, you know? So if everything is right in the house, I believe it's a beautiful thing, you know?
I'm going to add to that. So, if you take submission like this and put a money aspect to it, it helps you better understand submission. So, you don't submit to a loan unless you get what you want out of the loan.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you ain't, I mean, even in the middle, if you owe money, but the car's broken down, you are less likely to pay that bill every month because you're not getting what you want out of it anymore.
Yeah, true.
So,
my say on this part is submission is good for women when they're getting what they want out of it. It's good when both people involved or both submitted something, so basically compromising. That's when it's good for a woman, a man, anybody involved. If you're compromising basically. So when you're being submissive, it has to be the other party, all parties involved is being submissive as well. It cannot be all on one side. So when they say, oh, be submissive to your husband or be submissive to this, that, and the other, are you getting what you want in return? Is it a fair trade? So that's my say on that.
I'm going to say one more thing. And I'm going to put this on the Bible. So, you're in a relationship and you're not getting the emotional, physical, spiritual, mental part of that piece, you are not required to continue on in that relationship, let alone be submissive. All that's considered cheating. Believe it or not. Now, that's not how they present it, because last thing a guy wants to do is have to get right. But that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, and not perfect. I mean, there's going to be issues, but consistency. Where's consistently, does this person do this? Does this person do that? And if they do, and it's all worth your while, then it's a good reason to do so.
You have anything else?
No.
Okay, so we're going to move to question number 3, and that's how should a woman deal with a controlling man? How should a woman deal with a controlling man? Let's go with you first.
Well, it's kind of difficult. I'm not a controlling man, so it's kind of difficult for me. But a woman, it depends on what the woman wants. See, that's a hard question because it depends on what a woman wants. Some women might like controlling men, but I don't believe that most do. So I can't really speak on it. So you'll have to give me throw some knowledge in there for me. You know?
So how about she's about to leave the house and she got on some hoochie shorts on?
Okay.
And you can see the V. I mean, it's clear. It's V right there. Bam, you can see it.
And you'd be like, where you think you're going?
You want to go in that bathroom and take that shit off? That's what you want to go. No, I'm just
Perfect example of control.
No. You better go put some clothes on. See where you going.
See, I would have no problem with that. But that's me. And I'm also single, so obviously it's not working. I guess I got to be more controlling.
Nah, if that's the case, I might be a little controlling. Because I don't. Yeah, I mean, if I have a woman, of course, I don't want her. I like for a woman to look sexy, no doubt. But if I know and I look at it and I say it's too much, I'm not gonna sit up here and say nothing to you crazy. Like, you better go change that. I'm like, damn, baby, where you about to go? You know what I mean?
Well, to piggyback off what you said.
Good.
Yeah. So if you're gonna control or try to say what she should wear or shouldn't wear, they may want something controlling. Some people like that. They feel like that's love or whatever.
Yeah. I met one that feel like that's love. If you don't say anything, then they feel like you don't love them. You know what I mean? I've had that before. I'm like, oh, you didn't even
but
say
I've also
that
seen where men look at those, like he'll tell his woman, go change what you have on, but then when y'all out and about and the other women have it on, they looking right at him.
Yeah.
Or that was probably what she had on when you met her. That's probably what caught your eye in the first place.
And I think we think of how other dudes are, how much commotion it's gonna cause. I think that's what we think a lot of times of, like, all right, I'm gonna have problems out here in the streets because of how much attention how much attention that she's gonna draw. You feel me?
Give us a little bit of the man code.
yeah. You know how much attention it's gonna draw.
So somebody might take your cheek. That's what
I
you
ain't
worry
worried
about?
that, But I'm sure if I was walking around here with the dick out draws, she would be like, "Yo, what are you doing, B?"
So you feel like it's free
put something
advertising,
on.
right?
Yeah, put something on.
Okay.
You understand? So I mean, but I can understand that. If that's what she said. I'd be like, okay, let me go put something on. You probably don't know. I mean, out here rocking these like this with my one ball hanging out.
So it's a hot girl summer. What do you mean? No, I'm just playing.
It's
hot boy summer too. But for me to answer that question about how women should deal with a controlling man, that is so easy. Don't. Do not.
No.
Just that simple.
So just leave.
Yes.
Yeah. What about in business though?
HR.
Ooh. Which is how you're supposed to do it. So doing a little research. If you can tell a person's controlling, they said be vocal about it and I'm trying to know how to talk. And that usually makes the controlling person back off very quickly.
You got control of the women, don't you?
Take your control back.
I was controlled by a stripper once. Anyways,
I'm in love with a stripper. So now we're gonna go into segment 3 with Dear J.
Oh yeah, it's segment 3 time.
Yes. Okay.
Let me get it ready for you, man. There you go.
Yes, I appreciate it, brother. All right, Dear JS. I am in the middle of writing a book about my life and passions. After surviving major abuse that I dealt with for 10 years, I think I'm on the right track, but I've ran across opposition from close friends and family members. Even some church folk have worked to stop me from writing this book. Wow, what's this about? I'm currently working, taking care of my 2 teenage boys and writing this book. I really feel like this is important to do, but at the same time, I understand why people want me to focus on things that God gave me, like my amazing kids. Should I make this book more of a hobby? I am being selfish for wanting to write this book more than to more than work. Then work. Then go to work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm interested in what your answer is.
Yeah. I am. Me also. Let me see. A lot of times I have to go back and read something like, okay. Okay. You're writing a book about your life and your passions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You survived, major abuse. You know what I mean? It's only right for you to get this stuff out and write it down. You know what I mean? A lot of times when we write stuff down, it helps us out. Just hearing you say that earlier. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing. No matter what the church folk or a lot of people have to say, it's good to get stuff out and write it down. And hey, if you can make it into a book and it can help somebody else, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? So it is your, it's a hobby, but I think you should, regardless, you should get it out.
Yeah, this it's a little questionable to me. Like, why they don't want you to write it? Is it because it's going to tell, like, especially like with the church and stuff? Did you go to them? And pray, did you go to them about what happened, and did they not do nothing, or they try to keep it covered? Like, I feel like they're trying to cover it.
You know what I'm thinking about when I was reading it? I was thinking about that one lady. Have you ever seen that clip? And the lady is in church, and she's like, "I lick balls."
Yeah.
Right?
Oh!
And I was thinking about I was thinking to myself, like, what if that's the lady?
The one with the demon dick?
Yeah. I lick balls, right? What if that's the lady? And maybe that's why the church is trying to keep her right.
You gotta be something.
This is what I thought when I was reading. Like, oh boy, that was.
Or could it be the pastor's wife? Something like, why does the church want you to keep quiet? It's like, I feel like the people who are asking you to be quiet is because they want to say the embarrassment of themselves, the family members, the friends, everybody who knew
Yeah.
but did nothing because you stayed for 10 years and was dealing with major abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they should definitely write this book. Not as a hobby, but get it out there because that book is going to help somebody. Somebody's going to read it and it's going to give them the courage to walk away from their relationship or not even jump into one. It may show them the red flags that they need to look out for that they didn't see until they read your book. So I definitely think you should write the book.
Yeah, so it sounds like you want to do this for a living. You need to write your goals down and figure out how you can make that happen. Because it's not just the book, it's the lifestyle. And from what JS was reading, it's obviously controversial if the church don't want you to do it. But you have to do what's deep down in your heart and, hear what they have to say and then realize why you still have to go forward. And if you do, forget what they have to say or use it in your book. Probably pretty good information.
Yeah. Put that in the book too. They said not to write.
I mean, hey, church is filled with people who are hurting as well. So this is not a knock on the church. I go to a church. I love the church I go to, but not everybody there likes me. That's how it's supposed to be. As crazy as that sounds.
Damn, what you do? Are you writing a book? What's going on?
Is it me?
Did you reverse the roles? Did you reverse the roles?
Are you writing a book?
Well, first of all, I don't have 10 years of abuse with a guy. So
no, I said reverse the roles. Are you really the guy? Yeah, or was it a woman abusing you?
I have been abused by a woman, but no. That's not it. It's not me.
Okay.
But I can relate to doing something in the church, not be happy about it. You need to do what God's created you to do and keep moving forward. You're not going to be popular, but you will be popular. Because other people will see that and be like, I want to listen to that person. I got to read that book. I have to follow that person. And that's what you want. So.
Y'all, that concludes our show for today.
All right. I thought you were going to continue. Anyways, I'm Comix Strategy. This is JC. Got the superstar JS over there. We got the superhero JC right here. And how can people see you or contact you or take some of your photography expertise? I don't know what this is. It's supposed to be a camera. But squeezing the entire. Never mind.
Squeezing.
No wonder people at church don't like you. What are you doing? Don't walk into church like that.
So it's Instagram. My IG is @photogenic, and that's PHOTOJNC. Thanks for watching.
Comix Strategy.
Bye. Bye.
Yes.
You did it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I walk into church, boy.